So let's walk through left to right. Left to right, people come in. So in your tank, you've got your existing people in the organisation, and then if you imagine there's some kind of topping up going on, there's new people come in. So they come in and you say, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to be a senior fellow, Jules. This is what I'd like you to do. Here are your targets. And then maybe once a year you sit down and say, well done, that went well. Oh, I've made an assumption, which a lot of organisations do. Are these individual targets actually connected to the business goals? It's an interesting question. Some of you work for really big corporations. I can tell you confidentially, only to be beamed out to 8,000 people. In Sainsbury's, they had whole departments that worked against each other. So they had the department of going faster and the department of going slower. And when we looked at where some of the disconnections were, you would be surprised to learn that in big organisations, sometimes things cancel each other out. PDP, personal development. In this context, personal development is intended to make you be able to do your job better. What happens when you send somebody to an MBA? I should do an MBA show of hands, shouldn't I? What happens when you send Jules? What happens? What happens when you fund it in an organisation? Apart from all the fabulous intellectual...
They leave.
Yeah, they go in there. Your tank goes down. And personal development should be about increasing those outcomes for the organisation. Reward. I'm talking about this in a less conventional sense than how much people get paid. So what happens in an organisation? What happens when you do well? What happens? And what happens when you don't do well? And those forces can pull that water through the tank or can allow it to leak out. And when it all works well, you've got your team capability growing here, and then high achievement goals, profitability. Everybody with me? 5. Marvellous. You can see I'm cutting edge on my technology, aren't I? Can I just say, I've only just started working for myself. I have not done my own PowerPoint for about 25 years. So I think I did okay. I think it's a bit basic. So what's going on? So this is where we've got the leaks. Okay, so I'm going to home in on some of the leaks. Recruitment. Who knows what their staff turnover is? Who knows by role? By gender? Okay. Let's say in this tank, you've got 2,600 people. You're losing 50% of your staff annually. That is a realistic figure in retail, by the way. So you're losing 1,300 people a year. How much is that costing you? What's the efficiency there? We have a chartered institute in HR called the Chartered Institute of Personnel Development. And they say most organisations don't measure it. Really? I measure it. And in my last organisation, it was 1,500 quid per pop. Cost of recruitment, bringing them in, half productivity, 3-month learning curve. What's 1,500 times 1,300?
2 million.
2 million in that pot, in that small organisation that I described, that you can have. And go to the board, as I have done in the past, and say, I'll save you 1.5 million, can I have it back to invest in engagement? Business goals, don't assume that they're connected. Again, going back to the Sainsbury's organisation, this bit here is sometimes called performance management. The group HR director said, this performance management system doesn't work, go and get me a new one. When we looked into it, actually, it wasn't broken. It was purely, well, not purely, actually it was more complex than that, but there was a massive disconnect between effort in one part of the organisation and effort in the other. Agree targets. Everybody knows SMART, don't they? It is important though. It's important that you leave that room knowing what it is you need to deliver and that it's taking your organisation in the direction that it wants it to go. Appraisals. They've got to add value. There is no point doing appraisals unless they add value. So realistic targets that you've both agreed and a check-in on that.